Hey, how you doing, everyone? Welcome back to Big Frog's 4x4. Today we're going to be installing the extended bump stops in the front of the TJ. Now, if you want some extra up travel, I would recommend not putting these in, because once you get them installed, it only gives you about 3.5 to 4 inches of travel in your suspension. It's going to depend on your tire size and rubbing and that kind of stuff. If you're going with, say, like a 31, 32 or something, you probably won't need these. The suspension will travel up and it'll be okay. You can also put bump stops extensions. You can buy, there are 3-inch extensions that go into your upper pocket here. But the Teraflex lift came with these bump stops, and the owner wants us to put them in, so we're going to install them. He plans on running a 33-inch tire, and he's worried about clearance. When he hits bumps and stuff, he's worried about the tire, and he doesn't want to do any cutting or trimming. So we're going to install these so that he doesn't have to worry about the 33 rubbing when the suspension travels up. Now, the best way to do this is disconnect your sway bar on both sides and remove your track bar from down on the axle or up at this location. Disconnect that, and that way the axle is fully disconnected. You may get a little bit more suspension travel if you remove your steering either from the passenger side or up here at your pitman arm. So you just have to kind of judge and see how much your axle drops. With the aftermarket suspension that's on here, it'll allow your axle to drop a little more than a stock suspension. But we're going to have to see. I should be able to drop it far enough that I should be able to take the springs out pretty easily. I'm going to do it by removing the upper track bar bolt. I think that's easier to line up than the bolt going through on the lower side. And then I'm just going to take the nut off, 19 millimeter, your cotter pin, then your nut. Luckily, this was all fresh, just put it on, so nothing's rusted or going to break. Take the nut off most of the way, but not the whole way, and then we'll smack this with a hammer, and it should just fall out. Takes a few hits, you'll kind of see it move, and then you'll know it's supposed to drop down. Take the nut the rest of the way off. Might have to bounce the Jeep up and down just a little bit to get that to drop all the way out then. And now, obviously, the sway bar is disconnected. We can raise the vehicle up, and then that'll get us room to get the springs out. Now, obviously, if you're doing this in the driveway, you'll have the vehicle on jack stands and have the axle jacked up, so you'll be letting the axle down. Got to take the spring retainers that are in here off. Once you get that, you should be able to just take the spring and remove it from the vehicle. Either out through this way, or you can move it out through this way. Now these are only a 3-inch lift spring. If they were any taller, you would definitely have to use a compressor to remove them. But I should be able to just kind of push down the axle up on the spring to get them out. To install them is going to be a different story. We're going to have to use a spring compressor to install them. Now to spring out, you have to drill a hole in the middle of this perch, then put your bump stop in. You want to run the bolt down in. It's a self-threading bolt. That'll thread down in. And then, I think 2003 and up, you'll have to tap it with a 3/8/16 thread to put the bolt in then. And then whenever you put the new spring in, you put this inside of the spring, put the spring back in, and then bolt it in once the spring's in. So we'll get the drill bit, we'll drill and tap the hole. So dead center in the middle of your axle perch here, there's a divot. You need to drill a 5/16 hole down through that divot right in the middle of the perch. That off. I'm going to spray a little fluid film on there. And like I said, it says to run the bolt then, the self-tapping threads down in the hole. Looks like I got to put a little down force on it. Well, that doesn't want to go down in, so it looks like we'll be doing the tapping the threads with an actual tap. It's a 3/8/16 tap. There, we got those threads tapped in there. I'll spray a little more fluid film on there to help try to keep the rust down. Make sure the bolt threads down in okay. Now we'll put the bolt and spring together and we'll put them into place. Let's see, I'm going to put the spacer up inside the spring. Our spacer down here. Back into place. Then we can bolt our spacer in. Flex head ratchet would definitely make this easier if you can get one. Just go until it's slightly snug. Make sure the spring drops back down into its perch down here, and you can put your retainer for the spring back in. And that's how you put the bump stops, the lower bump stop adapters in the front of the axle. Basically, you just reassemble. You can put your track bar back up into place, hook your sway bar back in, and you're done. When hooking the track bar back up, you're going to want somebody to help you. You're going to need someone to turn the steering wheel so that when you bring the bar up to put it into its hole, turning the steering wheel will line your hole up so you can get the track bar back up into place. So having a second person is definitely going to make this job easier. Thanks for watching Big Frogs 4x4. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that bell if you want notified of each video as it comes out. And as always, God bless.